It's time once again to slip into your camo, grab your bow, and join us out in the field for another episode of the Up North Journal, presented by PSE Archery. The Up North Journal crew is knocked and ready to rock for another exciting adventure. So let's step outside and hit the trail.
Welcome back to another episode of the Up North Journal, everybody. I'm host Mike Adams, sitting in the cabin tonight with Dan DeFaw. Before we get started, we want to help you save some money.
That's right, folks. Don't forget to use our promo codes to save that money. And let's start off with buckbaits.com. That's right, the brick and mortar store of Buck Baits down at Sterling Heights, Michigan at 15 and Dodge Park. Go over there. If you're on the website, buckbaits.com, use the promo code UNJ20. That will get you 20% off your order.
For those of you who are looking for Easy Cut products, make sure you go to easycutproducts.com. And when you're there, use the UNJ promo code UNJ15 off to save 15% off your order.
And let's not forget Lincoln Roan over at packermax.com. It's never too early, never too late to think about the Packer Max. Go on over to packermax.com, use the promo code UNJ25. That'll get you $25 off your order over at Packermax Outdoor.
For those of you looking for some new firearms and firearm products, make sure you go over to theislandarmory.com. While you're there shopping, use the promo code UNJ10 to save 10% off your order there.
If you shot that bird of a lifetime and you want it mounted, don't forget Troublesome Creek Taxidermy. We've had them live on the show. We've talked to them. You want to get 10% off your order, go to Facebook, go to troublesome.creek.7, find their website. If you go to our website, UNJ, make sure to click on the button to download the form. You get 10% off over there using the code UNJ10.
Looking for that game call, whether it be a squirrel, whether it be goose, duck, deer, make sure you go to JPO Game Calls. Look for them at jpogamecalls.com, and while you're there shopping, use the UNJ10 promo code to save 10% off your order.
And Miller Deer Tracking, the man that seems to never sleep during deer season. Get 20% off your next deer tracking using the promo code UNJ20. Look for Miller Deer Tracking on Facebook or give him a call over at 810-240-4891.
Looking for the hottest new plastics to take on the water, whether it be hard water or soft water? Make sure you go over to southernindianabaitco.com. While there, use the UNJ promo code UNJ10 to save 10% off your order.
Deer Camp Coffee, folks. We drink it every night on the show. You want to try it? You can go to the brick and mortar store at 15 in Dodge Park at Deer Camp itself, or go to deercampcoffee.com. Also use our promo code UNJ10. You get 10% off your order. And don't forget, get a bag of the UNJ medium roast blend there as well.
All right, Danny, where's our live view camera to look from tonight?
Welcome back. Another live Wednesday night here in the cabin, and we're a balmy 75 degrees on the start of summer. We're looking underneath the Blue Water Bridge up in Port Huron.
So actually, you're looking at Canada.
We are looking at, well, we're looking at sailboats on Canada.
Going into Canada.
Yeah, so, you know, it's 85 here at the cabin outside, and it's 75 over in Port Huron.
Yeah.
The wind must be coming off the water.
Nice look at the water there.
Right? You know, that water moves pretty good along that stretch right in there. It moves along.
Oh, you can see the current right
all
there.
the way down the river.
That current's moving.
And actually, we used to fish a lot when I was a kid, right underneath that bridge, just to the left of the picture you're all seeing. And yeah, that water definitely moves. You definitely got to get some weight to get your line down to the bottom there. But yeah, it's welcome to summer.
There you go. Today's the first official day of summer.
It is, and you know what that means.
What? That means every day now is shorter.
Exactly.
Well, the day's not shorter, or the daylight's shorter.
After today, it's every couple minutes as we're heading towards December 21st.
You know what else we're celebrating today?
I know. What are we celebrating?
The grand opening of the newest Deer Camp Coffee in Mile, Michigan.
That's right. A big shout out to the grand opening they had today.
You got some pics?
I do have some pics. They had the ribbon cutting ceremony today in Deer Camp Mile, we'll call it. And you can see by the pictures here, they definitely had we've had some beautiful weather the last few days and did not disappoint. And you can see here they had a red ribbon cutting right in front of the store in downtown Mile. So you can see the two owners there. Starting out with the second store they have going on there in Mile. So if you guys are traveling up north, get off at that famous 212 section that everybody knows if you go up north in Michigan, right? Or 202.
202.
202.
M33 North.
Right, and there's Tony and Julie with the twins there. They made their appearance. It happened this morning, and there's a thumbs up from the twins.
Are they in there making coffee?
Looks like they're making slushies.
There you go. Nothing wrong with that.
Right?
I'd take a slushie today.
Absolutely. So there, it's officially opened. They got everything made in Michigan products there in the coolers. They've got maple syrup. They've got everything that they have down here in the Sterling Heights store and more. You can see in the background there, they've got the Deer Camp coffee. And when you walk in the front door, it's welcome to Deer Camp Mayo.
Nice.
Yeah, so if you're in the area or you're on your way up north and you want to stop in and check it out, go right ahead.
You know, I imagine a lot of people who listen to this show that head north here in Michigan, the people here that are listening in Michigan, you know, they may not be familiar with where the one is down in Fraser.
Sterling Heights.
Sterling Heights, that's right. It's Fraser, Sterling Heights, it's the same thing.
It's pretty close.
It's all Detroit, okay?
You're right.
It's all Detroit. But the point is you're like, man, you know, I don't want to go down to the Cement City, but I'm always going up north. If you're heading up M33, just pull in there. It's the main intersection right there in town.
It is the
only main intersection. The only
light in town, right? And
exactly.
so yeah, and you can see right here they've got it all set up. It looks, you know, they got the whole the bar to get ready. There's some food, drink, coffee, whatever you need to get your Michigan-made Deer Camp coffee products right there in the store.
You know what I think we need to do? I think we need to go up there and do a show.
Need to do a show on a road trip, right?
I can handle that. I'm going on a road trip next week.
Right? You're going next week. I'm going, going camping. I wouldn't say it's a road trip, but it's camping.
Well, it will be for me. I'm heading north.
I'm going to relax.
You're going to relax.
I'm done.
You've had it. Ladies, he is officially off the table now. He is done. No more. He's no longer single.
If you didn't pay any attention to our live feed that came live from the wedding on Saturday night, we had an awesome time. A big shout out to Table 8.
Woohoo! Table 8 is great.
The outdoor table.
Jerry Lambert was in the house. Dave Wilkins was in the house. Morgan Wilkins, Mrs. Wilkins, Mrs. Lambert.
Yep.
Nancy Jackson, my best half. Myself.
And our guest was there at Table 8 tonight.
Yes, he was. None other than the big dog himself. I got to bring his mic up here. I wouldn't want to do him like I do you, but none other than Adam Winn. What's going on, Adam?
How's it going?
Doing great.
Not much.
How are you doing?
I'm doing good.
Okay. Yeah. You were quite
he had some moves going on.
Gene dancing machine out there, you know?
I guess I did, yeah. That's what I heard.
You literally...
You don't remember?
Oh, I remember.
Just wondered.
You literally, you know, hey, who's that guy out, that tall, skinny guy out on the dance floor? Oh, that's Adam.
That's Adam.
He was a machine.
That's right.
Between you and Raquel, I think her name, Raquel, I think was her name, who was just about out there from the beginning to the end and leading the train through the hall and everything, and she was on go.
Got to give you another shout out. I mean, we're talking about the wedding. We just got done talking about Deer Camp, but they made these for Danny and Denise. Very cool, personalized with Mackinac Bridge on it. Their own personal handouts for coffee.
Yeah, so if you ever need a little favor for a special occasion, wedding, birthdays, whatever, give Deer Camp a call and talk with
Gender reveal.
Now that would be kind of cool.
Yeah, open it up and you got whatever colored coffee.
Right?
Yeah. Pink coffee, blue coffee.
Pink and blue.
There you
Just
go.
like blue cupcakes.
There you go. Nice.
So, but yeah, so it was a good time had by all, and yeah, I think I'm going to take a few days now and just decompress. Last month has been a whirlwind.
That's part of the reason we didn't have a show last week.
Yeah. that man, it was crazy, but it all went off without a hitch.
That's
and
good.
I got hitched.
You got hitched.
I did, and it was a great time. But we got a new hunter in the family now, it seems like.
Mm-hmm.
And now we got a guy on the phone that we can all see. that actually did pretty good turkey season.
Yeah, so, we're getting into the show now.
Yeah, let's get into the show. We can always come back to the wedding.
Okay, gotcha.
Plenty of stories there, I guess.
Oh.
Right? And so
What happens at the wedding stays at the wedding.
right, unless you saw it live yourself.
That's right. That's what we
Or
said
had-
on Table 8.
Right? Or at video. I did, well, we did send some video to South Africa, so that was pretty
Yeah.
good. They actually called me a little bit later on in the evening, about 11, it was 11 o'clock, because it was 4 in the morning there.
I have to apologize to somebody. I got to apologize to Mrs. Wilkins.
What did you do now?
I didn't chastise you in the drop. She said that that's the funniest thing because I am so rude to you when you do the live drops. She said, keep doing it.
It's our thing.
It is pretty funny.
You know, well, he bugs me when I'm trying to set stuff up. So,
So it's his return on
So-
it's his return on me.
if she's watching, I'm sorry that I did. I'll make up for it next time, next show. So
Right? So Adam, let's start with let's go back to turkey season. How was your scouting going for turkey? How was it looking as we got in? When was your hunt?
I went out May 6th, and my season started April 23rd. I hunt private land, so my season goes from April 23rd to May 31st. So, like, the first week of season was kind of rainy and stuff, so I kind of just played it by ear. I had some trail cams out there, watching the birds. So, the birds have been out there since December. So,
looks
I
like
knew they were
there's snow
still
on the
around.
ground.
So,
Yeah, but we're showing some of those pictures that you got that there's definitely snow on the ground. So you've seen birds from the beginning of the year.
yeah, I pretty much see them all year out there, even in the fall time. So, they pretty much hang around the property all year.
Now, do you got a good number of toms and hens, or do they traverse the property there where you see more toms at a certain time and then hens, or is the whole group always there?
Usually early season, like beginning of April, I'll see the big group of them. But usually, like middle April, they'll start splitting up. So, like I said, this year, I had the trail cameras out there, and I had a solo bird that I was watching. So, that's the one I ended up tagging. So,
Oh, so you actually did. Well, we know the story, but people at home don't. You did wind up getting a bird. Take us through how that all kind of played out. Were you seeing them early in the season and kept your eye on them? How'd that all work?
yeah, like I said, I had trail cameras out there all year, so I knew they were hanging around. So, like I said, the first week of season was kind of rainy and stuff, so I just didn't want to go out. So I waited till May 6th. I went out, morning hunt. I knew where they were roosting, but they weren't roosting in that spot that morning I was out there.
Mm-hmm.
So there's another spot down in the swamp that they like to roost in, and they were down there. So I knew they were down there. They were, gobbling off the roost and everything. So as soon as daybreak came, I gave them a couple calls. I got a couple responses from a couple gobblers, but it was a real quiet morning, not a lot of talking. So I kind of was quiet too. I didn't do a lot of calling. Probably like an hour into the hunt, I could tell one was coming up out of the swamp over the edge. So I gave a couple clucks to him. He responded back to me, and I went completely silent. And he ended up working right behind the blind, and he came about 10 feet to my left, right by the blind.
That's
So it was pretty close encounter. So
that's pretty awesome. And reverting back to you hunting private land, of you being able to. Now, did you have any worries of any other hunters being out there?
I didn't just because I was going out like almost 2 weeks into the season. So I knew a lot of guys probably would have hit it hard the first weekend. So I didn't hear anyone else out there in the morning. I didn't hear very many shots or anything. No one else was out there calling. So that was definitely a good thing for me. So
And I hunted the first week, and that's one thing I noticed. There was not a lot of shooting. I hunted mainly evenings. I had one morning hunt that I was able to get out. Not a lot of shooting. Not a lot of people out that I could see.
This year on Facebook, I didn't see a lot of birds being taken. Usually it's just like, you see them all through the couple months of turkey season, but
yep.
I don't know if people aren't posting as much anymore, holding things close to the vest.
Right.
or or if there people just weren't getting out. I don't know.
Right, and like Adam here he's on private land. He's got cameras out.
Mm-hmm.
He can see where he needs to go. Whereas I was on public land, and literally I took the chance of either walking into another hunter or, in some cases, it was either a walker or a runner or a biker. Right. And
I just had a thought. Talking about we didn't hear a lot of shooting, didn't hear a lot of other people calling or what have you. We've got this app on our phones now for the DNR for the deer. Why not make one for turkeys? So we know what's going on during the season, how many birds are taken.
Yeah, make a mandatory check, right?
It'd be even cool to have it for fishing. People just reporting their catches. Getting numbers. Sizes and everything. I mean, all that data combined could it could play a very big part. So
DNR, are you listening?
All right.
Yeah, there you go.
Maybe we need to reach out to our DNR friends and kind of have them on the show again. Chad, if he wants to come back on, would like to have him on.
Ooh.
And maybe he can explain whatever they did at the NRC commission meeting.
Wow.
That'd be a good show.
It'd be a good show, all right.
Right. So here you are.
They took some heat, man.
Oh yeah, they did. So here we are. You're on private land. You hear the birds. You go to their secondary spot. You finally got one coming within 10 feet of your blind. A pop-up blind?
No, I was in a permanent check.
Okay.
Ground blind. So.
All right.
Yeah.
So there was no fear of maybe him a new thing in the woods.
Yeah.
Like I try to, if I'm going to use a pop-up blind, I try to get mine out there
Ahead of time,
a few days, just to kind of, unlike others, where they're heading off with the flashlight into the woods and
setting it up in the dark.
Setting it up, yeah. It's like, ugh.
Yeah, that blind's been there for quite some time. We've done some renovations on it, but it's been in those woods for a long time, so they're pretty used to it. I've shot 3 birds out of that blind now, so I got confidence in it.
It wasn't the one that was in that picture, was it? The one that up off the ground?
Nope, that's a different one. No,
Okay.
I don't hunt turkey out of that one. Nope.
Gotcha. Okay. So he comes in with about 10 feet of the blind. He's behind it. Okay, take us through it.
Yeah, so 10 feet to my left is like straight woods, and straight in front of me, obviously, is the open field. So I had my gun resting on the front window because everyone knows turkeys are super skittish. They have very, very good vision. So I had my gun resting in the front window. He came to my left. So as soon as he came to my left, he kind of moseyed his way into the field a little bit. All I was running was a single hen, feeding hen.
Okay.
And he kind of looked at my decoy, and he was a smart bird. He kind of knew something wasn't up. So he started skirting the tree line down away from me to my left.
He said that hen's had plastic surgery.
Yeah, he was not happy. But my gun's still on the front window. So as soon as I saw him skirting away from me down that tree line, I was like, he knows something's up. This is my chance. So I took the gun from the front window, out the left window, put the bead on his head, and it was about a 30, 35-yard shot. So
Got a picture of him laying here on the grass right now, so.
Yeah, and it all comes together, and it happened within your morning of the hunt, which is not too shabby, right?
Right.
You kind of like that.
I seriously think he probably saw that fake decoy, or the decoy there, and he said, those breasts are plastic.
Yeah. And I use those Avian X decoys, which are like...
Oh, those are nice.
They're really nice. They are really nice. But like I said, I mean, your more mature birds, your hunted, pressured birds, they know when something's up. You got a stationary decoy not moving.
Exactly.
So
yeah.
They know, so...
And Mark Coleman says it here, overcalling is a big pitfall of most turkey hunters. Good job staying quiet. And I tell you what, I was out hunting a few years back, and this guy was the Energizer Bunny of calling, and it just about drove me crazy. But, what type of call were you using? Was it a mouth call, a slate, a box?
It was a slate call.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, so you were using a slate call. Were you using slate, glass, aluminum?
It's a glass one.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, I picked that up a couple years ago. It works out pretty good, so.
You all right there?
Yeah.
Okay, just checking.
I'm getting choked up about a story.
That beard looks like, what, 8-9 inch beard on that?
Yeah, it was 8.5 inches.
Okay. Spurs?
Yep. 1 inch spurs.
Okay. Nice looking bird there.
How much?
Yeah.
How much did it weigh?
I didn't weigh it, but it was probably about 25 pounds if I had to guess. So.
All right.
Can't complain about that.
So turkey season, he gets the bird on the ground, has turkey nuggets later in the day.
Did you cook them up or?
I actually had a guy from my work make me some turkey jerky.
Oh,
that was actually pretty good. So.
Not too dry?
No.
Okay.
No, it was pretty good. I liked it.
That's awesome.
I've tried it, on the grill or just cooking it up, but that jerky was pretty good. So something to snack on,
There you go.
Can't complain about that.
Right.
So you got your turkey season out of the way. You got your bird on the ground. Well, I know we talked a lot of fishing. We talked a lot when we were at the wedding with Danny's wedding this past weekend. You guys got some stuff coming up as well, charter trip coming. But you've been posting a few pictures over on the Up North Journal fishing page, and you've been successful with some stuff. Take us through the early season. It looks like you guys were out doing some bass fishing. You've been out in the kayak.
Yeah, I was going out. The first week of May, pretty slow. Water temps were still in the 50s, so I hit it pretty hard. It started heating up, end of May there. Started getting pretty good. But yeah, I've gotten into some pretty nice bass. Nothing crazy big, but can't complain. Nice bass is always a good time on a kayak. So.
Absolutely.
But, 4th of July, I'm excited. I'm going up to Manistee, so I'm bringing the kayak up there. I'll be doing some fishing up on Manistee Lake, so I'm excited to do that. So.
Well, I gotta ask about this picture. You sent a picture, and it's got to be the biggest fish I think I've ever seen in my life, and it had a hard time swallowing the hook here. What's going on with this little dink?
Oh, that little bluegill?
Yeah.
Yes, that's funny. So yeah, I was throwing my swim bait over by some lily pads and under some trees. Caught a couple bass, and on my last, round around these lily pads, I threw it under the tree again, and that thing hit it instantly. I'm like, oh. And I'm starting to reel, and it starts skipping across the water. I'm like, what is this? Sure enough, it was that, and I hooked him right in the lip. So.
You're fishing for bait, that's what it looks like.
Right? It looks like you're fishing for some of your bait fish, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
And it's funny you say that. Did you happen to hear about that fish, the swordfish that was caught in that tournament?
The blue marlin,
Blue marlin.
One that was disqualified. Yeah, that's a bummer.
It was disqualified for having shark bite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I want to say, I think they said they fought that fish for 5 or 6 hours.
6 hours. But do you know why that disqualifies a fish?
No, that's what I don't
we ran the story yesterday and today. Anyway, long story short, being bitten or hit by a boat and having a chunk of it taken out, being injured, if it's got an injury, they say the fish does not fight as hard as it would if it was an uninjured fish. So it's easier to land. That's why they disqualified it.
Alrighty. Well, if it took 6 hours to get into the boat, okay,
619 pounds. The winner was 470 or 85 pounds.
They would have cleaned up, eh?
$3.5 million.
It wasn't the one the year before, like 900 and some pounds.
That I don't know.
I'm pretty sure it said in that story that the year previous winner was 900 and some pounds.
That's a huge blue marlin.
Yep.
That's a big fish.
Right.
Yep.
So like you said, you're heading up to Manistee here over the 4th of July. Have you been? Where have you been mainly fishing on? The lily pads, or what are you looking? What are you targeting? What areas?
Right now I've been targeting like more shallow water, so even like under docks and stuff by boats, really hot. So especially with this hotter weather, the fish are gonna go either deep or into the shaded areas. So I tend to fish like the docks and boats, and I do pretty good.
So are you you said you're taking the kayak up? You're fishing Manistee Lake.
Yep, Manistee Lake. Yep.
Okay. All right. I've been on that water that stretch through there quite a bit. So I know exactly what you're talking about.
It's a beautiful strip, and a lot of people fish out there.
So you've been up and you've done some salmon fishing.
Yep,
Same
I did that
area.
in May. Yep, that was in Manistee. Yep, that was early season in May. So that was a pretty fun time.
How did that all work out for you?
Not too bad. I think we went 2 for 4. So fishing more like the pier heads. We went out to 200 and some feet of water. Weren't really hitting anything. A lot of people were fishing right off the pier heads. We ended up picking one up there. Lost a couple up in there too. So But that was a good time. I'm gonna do hopefully some more salmon fishing on the Force, so I'm excited to do that.
Yeah, I got some video here you sent. You guys landed one in the boat. It looks like.
Yeah, that was a big old Laker. Yep, that was a nice one.
And I do have the audio turned down.
Good.
Like you asked.
That was a pre-warning on that one.
Okay, so when you guys are out running downriggers and everything, running off the back of the boat here, you're trolling, obviously. How's that set up? I mean, the only thing I'm ever familiar with is running like this would be what we did with Captain Scott last year with walleye, and I've been out on a walleye charter one other time, running planer boards out. You know, how is it the same setup?
Yep, we can run planer boards. Did the same thing. We had 4 on each side, so same type of fishing. You know, we're just trolling spoons and plugs.
Okay.
So, but I mean, there's so many different things you can fish salmon for. So, but yeah, you use the planer boards, same type of deal.
Okay. All right. Looks like a beautiful day, calm day out there too.
Yep, it was a beautiful day, definitely.
Yeah,
Playing for an early season, you know, May.
Well, it's going to start picking also up here towards the end August, right? And that's another.
Yep. Yeah, August is real hot time up there for sure.
Right. That's when Captain Scott's gonna. I think he's gonna head over there. Unfortunately, we weren't able to fish with him when I was supposed to the first time due to the weather was all wrong. The wind was coming right down the bay, and that was not going to be a fun trip. So we kind of canceled that, and we're going to go back out here the 9th and try to get back out there and get on some fresh walleye.
Yeah, I went out with Scott in April, actually.
You went on his new boat, didn't you?
I did go on his new boat. Yep, it was nice, real nice.
Yeah, that's the Rock and Reel 2, or is this the Rock and Reel 2.2 now?
Yeah, I think it was Rock and Reel 2.0. I think so. But yeah, that was a nice boat for sure. It was a good time.
What's the setup on that different from when we went last year?
I mean, there's no like overhead cabin or anything. You know, it's a lot smaller. You know, wide open.
Okay.
More geared to like river fish. You know, being able to jig off the side of the boat. You know, doing stuff like that.
Yeah. So, I went to the Facebook page. It's the red boat, right?
Yep.
All
yeah,
right,
beautiful boat. Yep.
There we go.
Yeah.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah. So
more like a river boat.
Right.
Yeah, almost like a bass fishing style boat. You know, that more flat platform. So
that motor could push the boat and the truck.
That's a 250 on that baby. It gets going.
Yeah, I think we launched and it was 30 some degrees. So I had all my ice fishing gear on and I was toasty warm.
You know, that's one of the things. He's got that boat now, so he's running 2 boats at a time, right?
Yep.
So he's definitely opened up what he can do and where he can go. I think that's more of a river boat.
So, yeah, like I said, so you got 2 different seasons. You know, your early spring season, you're going to be fishing the river where all the fish are, and then they start moving out into the bay. That's when he's going to switch over to his bigger boat for trolling. So
he's not necessarily running them both at the same time with 2 different captains.
And what he explained to me is, like, if he wanted to go out and scout, you know, even right now, he can take that small boat. It's a lot easier to launch, less gas. He can zoom across the lake a lot faster with that boat. So if he just wants to go out and scout before a weekend, he's got clients coming out, that's his boat too. So it's kind of a scouting tool for him as well.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yep.
Multi-purpose.
He's definitely opening up his odds by doing that.
Got a lot of people in the chat tonight, but everybody's quiet tonight. No, they're all just watching and listening intently.
Quiet and watching. I could have swore you posted a picture from that boat, but maybe you didn't. I was looking.
I think I did. I might have.
Right. So you've been out on the kayak. Nancy Jackson says Table 8 was killing it.
Table 8 was killing.
Table 8 was on fire.
Right. Tom Gensel says, hey.
We were the outdoor table. I mean, Jerry Lambert, the writer, he was hooping and hollering. Dave Wilkins, the outfitter from Drop Tine Outdoor Adventures, and Morgan, his daughter, they were killing it out there on the dance floor too.
Yeah.
And of course, Adam and myself, and we can't forget Tony and Julie from Deer Camp Coffee.
That's right. And now we've got a new nickname, Big Dog Adam Winn, Mr. Smooth.
Mr. Smooth.
Mr.
Oh,
Smooth.
Who tagged him that?
Mr. Mark Coleman.
Mark Coleman. Okay.
Here comes the nicknames, right?
Right?
Yeah, he was smoothing it across the floor. He's doing a little glide back and forth.
Right? And speaking of deer camp, Mr. Coleman is drinking Lucky Huntsman tonight.
Well, I have the deer camp coffee, but I'm not drinking coffee. I've been doing a lot of cold brew.
I was going to say, you made cold brew the last time I was here. How'd that turn out?
Good as always.
All right.
Yeah,
That was cool.
I've been drinking that for the last 2 weeks. It's been a little warm, so I've switched over.
So with you being out there on the kayak, what is a safety tip we can get everybody out there that's going to be heading out there? Especially, I think it's going to be decent weather this weekend. So what are you looking for to people to make sure they're doing to be safe?
Definitely wear a life vest, or definitely have one on your kayak for sure. I always wear my life vest when I'm out there. It doesn't matter if it's 80 degrees or 60 degrees. I always got it on. But when you're fishing, just watch out for other people on boats. That's my biggest thing out there, because people don't pay attention. So just watch out for other people when you're on your kayak, because it is hard for other boaters to see kayaks on the water. So definitely watch out for other boaters.
Okay, question for you. Since you're kayak fisherman / both here, do you ever run the kayak on the river? A river?
I have not. Nope.
Okay. Have you ever river fished?
I have. Yep.
Have you ever encountered people kayaking recreationally while fishing?
Yes.
Okay. So tell me if I'm right or wrong. Coming down the river, and I've been in many of them where they're fishing for trout, fishing for walleye, fishing for steelhead, whatever, salmon coming up, because I do a lot on that Lake Michigan side.
Yep.
So I'm coming down the river, floating down the river, and it could be a drift boat, it could be somebody standing in a bend,
Yep.
casting, or or running lead and dropping and hanging on the bottom. And I always ask them, I'll yell up to them, you want me on your left or your right? Because you might have people out of both sides of the boat sometimes, and they kind of look.
Right.
I said, which way do you want me to go? I said, I don't want to blow the hole. Is there a preferred method for fishermen to say for recreational kayakers that we should be aware of? Or is that?
I mean, not that I really know of. When I was river fishing, if anyone was coming down the river, I'd just reel in my line,
Mhm.
just to avoid any conflicts or confrontation, So that was kind of my take. Like I said, I don't really river fish a lot, but when I did, that's what I did, was just reel in my line. So
Okay. Well, with that being said, would you rather them cut behind you if there's room, or up close to you, or would you rather them stay far away from you? What I'm worried about is if you're casting across and you're hitting a hole, okay, you got fish in a hole. I don't want to go through and blow a hole out, because guys fishing there for a reason, obviously. So
yeah, I mean, if you can pass behind him, obviously, yeah, that'd be your best bet, because his line's obviously right in front of him. So,
okay.
Yeah, behind him would probably be the best. Yep.
I always try to be courteous of that, when I see a fisherman out there. So
Absolutely.
Yep.
It's about being...
we both got to share the water.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Yep.
And I try not to paddle. I try to drift past.
Yeah. Yep.
Instead of smacking your paddle in the water.
Yeah.
Hey, how you doing? Right?
Yeah.
Big shout out to Deer Camp Mayo. They said we can come on up. You guys are more than welcome to do a show there.
Awesome. They're on tonight.
They
watching?
are on tonight.
Very nice. Thank you.
And Mark Coleman is asking, what will be your go-to lure on your next fishing trip?
I've been getting really big into plastics, like rubber worms and like swim jigs. I've had pretty good luck on those the last couple of years. I used to fish a lot of spinner baits. I kind of veered away with that and just kind of started doing something different, and it's been working out pretty well. So got some baits from Southern Indiana Bait Co.
I was just going to ask you about that.
I was just using those the last weekend. Some white paddle tails. Those were working pretty good.
They
So.
catch bluegill, right?
They catch bluegill and they catch bass. Yep. So.
Yeah, they even make the little ones try to swallow that.
Right?
thing,
You know,
Yeah, it's crazy,
They're
yeah.
so good that even the little ones try to swallow that big lure, right?
Is that the first
Yeah.
ones that you've used of theirs?
Yeah, yep. I just bought that style. Was just like those 3.5 inch paddle tails.
Gotcha.
That's just my style. So you just put a jig head on the front, and you can reel them slow or reel them fast. So
What colors did you get from them?
I like white, but I think I got 6 different colors from them. I have blue, perch color,
Okay.
chartreuse one. So just
Gotcha.
kind of a variety of different colors. So
Nice.
You know, and you know, that's one of the things when you're out there. I know white was a very popular color for those paddle tails. Why? Why do you think? Is it just because of the light color body or
Visual.
yeah, visual thing. Yep, definitely just easy to see for the fish. Obviously, target or predator fish, so they're targeting stuff, and they're just sight fishing basically. So
Gotcha.
Oh, okay. So Denise says, pretty sure the bride and groom stole the show.
That's what I heard.
Right?
No, you guys did. I'm just joking.
Right.
I forget who it was. I posted a picture after I got my hair cut, and I got a straight razor shave that day, and posted a picture. Somebody said, ready for the Hollywood lights. I'm like, nope, no Hollywood lights for me. That's all for Danny and Denise. So
Yeah, we had a good time. So when you're in your kayak, what rod are you using? Are you using a long one, 6.5? Or are you going with a short? What do you?
I got like 4 or 5 different ones.
You going open face?
Oh. It all depends. I got a bait caster, spinning reels. It all just depends on the lake I'm fishing and what style of fishing I kind of want to fish.
Are you going light line? 4 pounds or 8?
I fish 10-pound braid
Okay, you're
on
going.
my spinning reels, and then on my bait caster I run 15-pound because I'm running like ounce and a half baits. I run some like big swim baits, so like some 6-inch swim baits, pretty sweet. Actually got one right here.
You got one right there? Well, let's take a look at that thing.
It's pretty large, but it catches fish.
Well, that's all. That's all that matters.
This is like 1.5 ounces, or 1.5 ounces. So that's a 6-inch bait. So that's what I run on my bait caster. Like I said, that's why I run 15-pound line, because I'm throwing heavier baits.
And that's supposed to be what, like a little perch?
Yeah, or a bluegill. Yep.
Okay.
Is that the one? Did you pick that up in New Baltimore?
No,
Oh, okay.
no. I just got these a couple weeks ago.
You know, when you're using different rods and reels like that and lengths and whatnot, how difficult is it different from like some people are standing up casting for bass or whatever? How difficult is it actually being seated as far as casting, catching, and landing the fish?
Yeah, I mean, you covered it all. Everything is a lot harder sitting down in a kayak. Just casting under trees and stuff. You don't have that balance, I guess, as good as you would on a solid flat bottom boat or something like that. But yeah, landing fish, that's always a game, trying to get them in the boat. So
You know, especially if it's that's one thing about kayaks. Some people have a weight that they can drop and they'll stay. But
Yep.
because you're always moving in a kayak and you get a decent fish in, you kind of go with the kayak. You go with
Go
the
with
fish, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Well,
So-
yours is a sit-on, right? Not a
Yep.
sit-in. Okay, so I know a lot of those. Back when I was looking at them, they had a kind of a open platform in the front, and the boats were really heavy and stable. So you could actually stand up and cast and retrieve in the standing position. Is yours set up that way?
mine is not set up that way. Mine's kind of like a cross between a fishing and leisure, I guess, kayak. But yeah, my friend actually has one of the 12-foot ones that is more flat in the center for you to be able to stand. So that's something I was looking into getting, but I think I'd rather have a boat or something like that, like a flat bottom. So
Okay.
What do you call those boats? Flat bottoms.
John boats. Yep.
yeah, John boat, flat
That's
bottom. Yep.
Those are good boats. You just get you get one and they're stable
Yeah.
and you can get into the shallows easier.
You can just, I mean, if you don't want to spend the money on a motor, you can just throw a trolling motor on there and just be perfectly fine.
Get you a mud buddy motor,
Oh.
mud motor on the back. Them things,
Exactly.
you can take them into some really shallow stuff.
Do some duck hunting with it.
There
Yeah.
you go.
You put some lights on it, go bow shooting.
I don't know if I'd want to shoot out of a flat bottom John boat. Those have a tendency to come out from underneath your feet.
Really?
when you're shooting, because you're always leaning over, leaning on the rail. You know, that's why I had a modified V.
Yeah.
And that boat was really, really stable. So I
Gotcha.
haven't seen a lot of John boats.
Yeah, actually, Robert Miller and his son from Miller Deer Tracking, they've been doing some carp fishing off their flat bottom boat. So he kind of rigged it up and put a platform on the front and stuff. It's pretty cool. It's got all the lights and stuff on it.
So he's running at night.
Yep, he's running at night with the bows. Yep.
I remember I used to do that back in the day. It's been a long time since I've shot in the water.
Right?
Yeah.
We went out that one time, and it was pretty good.
That was your first time out, wasn't it?
That was my first time out. We had some good times. So that reminds me, now that you brought that up, have you, when you're doing, and you're close by docks, have you been approached by anybody and yelled at? That
He gets out of there after he hits the boat.
Never once I've been yelled at. No.
I've seen a couple videos that just.
I think it depends on the lake.
I think so too. It really does, but it just
Depends on the lake and the state, for sure.
The big lake, without naming the lake, the big lake out in your area where I used to live and where you live, that was notorious for people yelling at people, even just recreational fishing during the day, let alone shooting bows at night.
Right.
Really?
Oh yeah, I remember we were out on another lake nearby and had the law called on us. They come out and checked us, but
Yeah.
they said, no, you're fine. You keep doing what you're
Doing
doing.
nothing wrong. Yeah.
Yeah, just
doing nothing
wanted to
wrong.
make sure we had our life jackets and make sure that we had our fishing license. That's all they wanted to see.
That's funny. But I was just wondering, because I see these videos, and you being in a kayak, I was just wondering, because you can get pretty close to a dock and in and out of these little cuts and whatnot. And some of these people are interesting when they think they own the water.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
think-
I've never had anyone yell, so it's probably a good thing, I guess.
He's not hit a boat with a lure then.
right?
Hear the ping.
No.
So, I know you're targeting bass. Have you caught anything else that became a keeper to take home and maybe kind of feast on?
Nope, not really. I just all bass, basically. No pike either this year, so.
No pike yet, huh?
Nope. I think I might try a new lake on Friday. It's
Okay.
supposed to be pretty good for some pike, so see how that goes.
We were kayaking the Flint 2 weekends ago, and we put
Okay.
in at Holloway Dam, and we paddled down to Genesee, down to, I think it was not Belsey Road, Coldwater Road, whatever road comes in there at Genesee. And we're coming through and the backwaters of Mott Lake. They got they control the river there with backing it up with dams and things.
Okay.
And they've expanded that area there at Mott Lake, and they've got Ducks Unlimited. It looks like they've done some habitat stuff there. Really nice looking, for duck hunting, and really weedy for fishing off in the waters off to the side. And we're coming through like the main channel, and we're running up to the takeout spot.
Okay.
And all of a sudden, I see a big fish jump. I don't know what it was. It was huge. And then another one jumps. And I'm sitting there, and I just kind of took the paddle and rested and just was kind of floating. And within 2 minutes, I counted about 20 fish jumping. In my periphery. I mean, it was just lighting up, man. It was just like somebody was just dropping stuff in the water. And they were big fish.
Might have been a hatch.
It was probably bass, most likely.
That's what I
I would
figured.
assume. Yep.
But I thought, man, of all times, I need a riding reel right now.
Right?
That's a good sign when they're jumping like that. For sure.
Exactly. So Mark Coleman's having a little bit of an issue right now because you showed a bait. You showed a bait earlier. You said that was $20.
I saw that.
Right?
No, it's not 20.
Well, he
It's
thinks
30.
it was, but
It's 35, but
Wow.
okay. So
I got it on sale. It's all good.
You got too much disposable income.
So his question is: have you ever lost one of those $20 baits?
I have. Yeah.
Did you get wet going in after it?
I did. About 4 feet of water. Got my head wet too. Pushed the kayak up on the shore.
Mm-hmm.
Luckily, I wasn't by some guy's house, right? Didn't want to get yelled at.
Right. Did you get it back?
I got wet. I got it back. Definitely got it back.
You got it back. It was well worth it. Luckily,
And it was like 80 some degrees out, so it wasn't bad. Felt good.
I was just about to say, it better have been like dead of summer, and you're like, okay, I don't mind getting wet right now.
Yeah.
It's not 40. It's not April and 30 degrees, right?
That lure looked pretty doggone real.
But there has been many lures that I have snagged on just left for sure. Those $5 ones, but those expensive ones you gotta go get them.
You gotta make an effort for it.
Yeah.
All right, Mr. Mark Coleman. He's on fire now. That lucky huntsman. Now he's asking about booster seats for kayaks.
Oh boy.
I know, right? So,
so you can go fishing?
I guess.
Hey, we all went fishing.
Right.
He was out there catching them.
That's
no,
right.
no booster seat necessary. Did you ever use that one lure that has the multiple minnows on it?
I have not, but I know what you're talking about.
Is that what they call an Alabama rig?
I'm not sure what those are.
I
Actually.
think it
Are
is.
you talking about the one? It's got one tie point and it's got about 4 or 5
Yeah,
strands behind
and
it.
they're all like trailing a.
Yeah, usually it's like 7 or 8 little ones, and then there's one big one, like in the middle.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So like the striker one, I guess you would say.
Yeah, he was using that up in the UP, and
Yep.
it's not a cheap lure. Yeah, I lost it.
Yeah, you throw those target some big bass. So throwing them up in the UP would be the right spot for sure.
You
They're-
didn't go
they're-
after it, huh?
No, not in that water.
Well, I'm
In
just saying in
Michigan?
general, there's some big bass up in the UP.
Oh, there's also some really big pike.
Yep, I believe it.
That's a single available man, ladies. $35 baits, and not for the married gentleman.
All right, and that's a wrap for the night.
So with that being said, though, the problem I might have created would if she enjoys hunting like
Yeah.
she'll be like, well, we're buying that bait, which I'm okay with. Just
Yeah.
like, but
Yeah.
You gotta get some
He
hunting
said it, right?
clothes. You gotta get a new
Right.
side by side. You gotta get a new rifle.
right? I won't say no to a new weapon of choice.
Yeah.
And so you're gonna go out Friday. Hopefully, you come over to the campground if you want to come over this weekend.
Yep, definitely, for sure.
Throw the kayaks in. We'll go target some fish. There's some big fish in there.
Oh,
And,
we'll get some. We'll get them.
and if my cousin's there, that ought to be a blast.
Well.
So,
Okay.
but yeah, no. So we'll look forward to definitely hearing more. So you made turkey jerky. Have you had any fish lately?
I've been cooking up all the walleye I caught over the winter.
Oh, that's what you've been.
I got one bag of walleye left. I'm saving it until I go out with Scott on the 9th. I gotta plenish my walleye, so I'm getting low.
Well,
He's pacing himself.
yeah, I was just about
I
to.
know. It's good, man. It's
Scott
good.
better come through, right?
Yeah.
Denny
He will.
Steiner's on the cabin tonight.
It's always good to have Denny. I have to get a hold of Denny. I keep saying that. I just got to do it, right? Have you ever had a bad day of fishing?
All the time. All the time. I think I had a week and a half of bad fishing in May this year. I don't think I caught a single fish. So.
Even
how it goes.
that, it's better than a day at work, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yep. Exactly. Yeah,
Well,
it's just
that
nice to
good
get
day.
out on the water. So.
There you go. A big lure is for a big fish, so my brother says.
Yep. Exactly.
But yeah, so we had to catch up with Mr. Adam here. He's been posting pictures. I knew he did good at turkey season, so I had to hear the story.
Well, I got to get with him and have him show me some of those dance moves. That
Oh boy.
he was doing out there. Maybe I can take some dance lessons.
Yeah, I'll show you the ropes.
Yeah, you was cutting a rug out there.
He
I
was.
guess. Yeah.
I do believe there's actually video of that.
If there is, I'd like to see it, cause yeah. I'll just leave it at that.
Aye,
So,
aye, aye.
But yeah. So that's all I got for the guy.
Well, that's pretty much it. I mean, we can run a little bit short tonight. For those that are watching tonight or listening, we're trying a little bit of a different format here tonight. We're not doing commercial breaks. We're just doing a long, continuous running episode. So it's probably going to be with us here for a while now, and so we're just trying a few little new things.
Absolutely.
See how it goes.
It's mid-year. We're trying some new things. It's the longest day of the year.
It is the longest day of the year.
Right? So.
And it's all downhill now. So, all right. So next week, we got anything?
So next week, I've got some calls out. We're hoping to have somebody from the UP. Not sure which one it'll be, but we hope to have somebody on from the UP.
Okay. And if not, it's going to be 2 weeks because I'm going to be gone the next week.
Right. So, yeah.
In the middle of the summer here, sometimes it's kind of hard to line stuff up.
Exactly. And
So.
people got vacations and.
I'm going to try to start doing some more live drops while I'm on vacation. I'm going to be gone for a week. We're going to be in the boats. So hopefully I can maybe, depending on where we're at, can get a signal and maybe bring you guys a quick little update of what's going on.
Well, I will definitely be doing live drops from the campground if I'm out on the water, by a fire,
There you
cooking
go.
a meal.
There you go.
Planning on having steaks on the grill, so over the fire.
Yeah, I'll be definitely doing some live drops around the 4th of July on the fishing page. So.
Absolutely.
So you're going to be in your kayak on Lake Manistee. Are you going out on Lake Michigan at all?
Yep, I'll be doing that for the salmon fishing. Yep.
Okay. That same time?
Yep, same week, yeah. I'll be up there for about a week.
Okay.
Nice. Timmy Dunk is confirming he was a dancing machine. So it was good.
Gene the dancing machine.
That's it.
Right? And Tammy also says if fishing was easy, they'd call it catching.
There you go.
Exactly.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what. We're going to go ahead and we'll wrap up this week's show. And hopefully we get somebody lined up for next week from the UP. It's their week. We're working with them. Going to be up November 1st, 2nd, and 3rd.
1st, 2nd, and 3rd will be up at the UP State Fairgrounds for the UP Ice Fishing and Hunting
Expo.
The biggest one in the UP, folks.
There you go. So come up and join us.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Adam's going to be there. Maybe we can get him to dance.
We'll see.
we go out afterwards.
No guarantees on that, but we'll see.
We get you out afterwards. I think there's a good chance of it. So,
All right.
For those of you who are listening on the podcast, if you're listening over on iTunes, make sure you go over, give us a review over there. That helps people who support us in return as well. Danny will have this posted over on YouTube.
Yep.
Here sometime later this week. If you're watching on YouTube, smash that like button or subscribe button for us. Do the same here on Facebook and share the show for us if you would as well. So, anything else, boys?
Nope. We will see you next week, same time, just a shorter day.
All right. Y'all take care. We'll see y'all again next week.